this is Nathalie from LineDotArrow from the Netherlands, and today is my turn for the December Daily Christmas Advent 2025, hosted by Tracie Fox Creative. Tracie Fox, she invited me. Thank you for the invite. And my assignment for today is to create something with this beautiful Christmas card. Now, there is a link to a calendar. It's the Advent calendar. It has small Christmas envelopes on it with numbers for each day, and each day there will be a new video, and they will link the video when the video is there. So when you click on it now for day 19, you will not see that video, but when it's there, the video or two videos, depends on if we have one or two people joining in, will be there. So and you can also see if there are two videos. I think I see double numbers. I see today 19 over here and the calendar, if I'm correct. Yes, and 2 times 21. So each channel has its own link. So sometimes you see double numbers. It means you have two videos, but there is at least one new video a day. Like I said, I have to create something with this. Now, I have been struggling for 2 days to get my printer running, as I have an extremely old printer. It turns out my printer is from 2013 or 2012. So it's 13 years old, and I'm not able to do an update on the driver or a product update anymore, which is a bummer because it prints beautiful. It works brilliant, except it doesn't recognize the HP instant ink cartridges anymore. I found out Monday, but I wasn't fully aware. But yesterday it finally hit me. Okay, this is not going to work. But I needed to print, so I had old cartridges left, color and black, and now I'm able to print limited. So I did print out the card that I need. I was certain I wanted to use this and I have these, but what I need more I will print when I need it. So I print as less as possible. I think I will work with the green because I really like that. And I printed on this one on the back also. I'm not sure if it's going to show or not. We will see. But I thought, well, better safe than sorry. But I'm going to just fold this way. And also this way. So you have this. You have a fold over here and a fold over here. And now I'm going to cut on this side, but I'm going to cut over here because it's difficult to see for me on the other side. And I'm going to cut this completely until the middle. So you can do this. Not sure if I cut it straight, probably not. Just going to. So you should have something like this. So this is folding over to this side. And I'm also going to cut this a little, like, how many centimeter or 2? I just eyeball it. Something like this. So you have basically this. I'm going to fold this over. Maybe just a little more. And this is going to be over here. But I think I need to take off a little bit over here. You just take a small piece. I'm going to use the first fold. I'm sorry. I haven't figured it out yet. I had it in my mind. And I'm not sure if it's going to work. It probably will. And this is going this way. And then I'm going to fold it like so. But it's basically 2 measures, so I can see the distance between this and this. This should be the same distance as this around. It doesn't have to be exact. Now I'm going to fold it inwards. And now you have this. Still struggling with this piece. Yeah, I need to make this a little smaller. And of course there are several ways to do this. I'm doing it like this, but I'm basically creating a pocket here and a pocket here. That's what I'm doing. Obviously this is now upside down. Didn't think about that. But I'm also thinking, what if I just fold it like this and have a... No, I want it like this. So it's going to be like this. Yes, I am going to cut off this piece. And we will work on this. We will cover this up with something. It will be fine. I am going to glue this together. And let me see. This one is going inwards, so I'm going to glue this piece together too. Okay, so we now have a card. It looks like a regular, sorry, I bumped the camera. It looks like a regular card. But what I'm going to create is a card with, of course, the element on it that I need to use. Where is it? I think it's over here. Yes. So I'm going to put this on, and then you can open it. And you have this over here. You have this, you pocket here, pocket here, pocket here. And then you have this on the back side. Now, I'm seeing that this part is not looking pretty. So I'm just going to snip off. And I think I also want to round the corners, but the other thing I think I need to fold this inwards a little bit more. Yes, that probably means I need to cut off this. Yes, but that will work. Yeah. I'm also going to cut this in a little angle. And I also need to line up these. And I'm also going to cut these in an angle and these in an angle. You can also keep it straight. I just want an angle, but that's just what you prefer. Now, the card itself, it's going to have rounded corners. So I'm just going to round the corners. This one. So we have this. So we have a pocket here, a pocket here. This is going to be a front side. I want to embellish this a little with beautiful things. I did have a few things printed. Let me check. Yes, I printed out a few items. I want to cut the stars, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that off camera. And this piece with the paper clip. This piece and this piece. And I think also this piece. But I'm going to cut this off camera. I inked the elements, back the card, and the card is going to be a side tuck spot on the front. I have to cover that piece up. I will do that later. And I also have a pocket that I want to put on the back, trying to figure out how to put it on. And I'm going to place it on the card like that. Obviously, I need to ink, more inking. Ink the pocket, and I'm going to place it onto the back side of the card like so. But of course, I need some embellishment pieces to add on the pocket. And I'm going to use the tab. I'm going to back it with a piece of cardstock like I'm doing over here. Obviously, I need to cut it out and ink it. The tab is backed, sturdy, and inked. And now I'm going to add this piece on front of the pockets, but just so you can still see the word above. And I'm going to add the tab underneath the pocket, but first I need to glue the pocket on. I'm going to place it somewhere in the middle, sort of eyeballing it, and the tab is going to be in the middle underneath the pocket. And I backed it so it's the same height as the pocket. So now I need to cover up the piece that is upside down, so the front side of the first pocket on the right side, and I'm going to put on this paper. I'm just eyeballing the size, trying to measure as good as possible, and then I'm going to cut it out and glue it onto the front side. So I cut out the red paper, I'm going to round the corners. Of course I do need to ink, and I'm going to place that on the front side of the first pocket, so it's going to cover up the pieces that are upside down. Just figuring out the direction, and I'm going to place it a little lower, and the photo frame is going to be a pocket on that piece, and I'm gluing it on over here. The strip of the first pocket I'm also going to cover with the green paper, and I'm just going to glue it on and cut it to size so it's covered completely, so there's nothing upside down on that pocket anymore. So I also want to add a strip on the back side where the pocket is. I'm just trying to find the right size. I'm just going to glue it on and cut it to size, and of course ink when it's glued on. So I'm not really measuring, I'm just gluing it on and cutting it to size when it's glued on, because it's very easy to do, of course. I was doubting if I'm going to flip it over, but it was too short, so I can't do that. So back to the front side, because that needs embellishment too. I'm just looking for things to cut out. I forgot to cut out the element with the paper clip. I'm quickly going to do that. I want to add cheesecloth underneath the card, or the paper clip, sorry. The paper clip banner thing. But first, of course, I need to glue down the pockets. Make sure I'm not gluing down the wrong side. It's going to be a side pocket on the right side, so I'm gluing it down. Now I'm going to cut some cheesecloth that is going to be placed on the card underneath the banner with the paper clip, because I want, well, a little bit of texture on front. And there are so many little elements in this kit. Also making sure that the word post is still visible, so I'm not covering up the P from post. And also going to add the stars. Just figuring out over, well, where I'm going to place them, but I'm going to place them on the bottom left side. I also want to add the North Pole Mail label on top of the card. I didn't quite fit, so I had to cut off a little strip. I am doing that a little later because I didn't know this yet. But here I'm finding out, okay, it's not going to fit. So a little strip to make it fit exactly above the card and fits on the base. I'm just gluing it down and, of course, cutting off the excess paper. Also need to ink a little. And now it's time to work on the rest of the project. And I also want to add a label on top of the pocket on the side. I'm doubting if I wanted to use that one, but I'm going for a different label, as you can see over here. Cutting that one to size, and I'm gluing that one, after inking, of course, onto the final pocket on the right side. Of course, I have to add some cheesecloth. And just eyeballing it, I'm trying to, well, glue it into the middle of the pocket. And now I can cut off the excess of the cheesecloth. Just fray it a little. And make sure everything is glued down correctly. Now I also want to put some words or labels onto the other pockets, and I've chosen these two, and I'm going to glue these down. I'm not going to place them underneath each other, but just, well, randomly on the pockets. And I really like the labels. There is so much to play with in this kit. It's just a fun kit to play with. I had a lot of fun creating with these papers. Of course, I need to ink. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do next. I have so many things that I have. I created cards from just random papers that I bought with sturdy, packaging. And I found this strip. It's part of the kit's paper. And I'm going to create a belly band. And obviously, the belly band needs inking and also, embellishment pieces like fun added elements to make it more cohesive with the rest of the project. I'm quickly inking all the elements over here. So now it's time for the fun piece, the fun part, gluing down the belly band and starting adding things to, make it more cohesive with the rest of the project. I'm just gluing it down a little bit more so the belly band is a little bit more narrow so the card isn't sliding too much. I'm going to add labels on there. I'm just deciding which one, and I'm going for the blue one, and also going to put the blue label onto the red paper, so the red paper is sticking out, and just cutting it the same size, the same shape as the Christmas mail label. Of course, it needs inking, and I'm going to glue that on to the belly band. So now it's time to decorate the card that goes into the belly band, and I printed out a few more papers from the kit. I'm just checking to see which one I want to include on the first card that I'm going to create. This card is going to be in the belly band, and I'm going to use this photo because I really like that. It is rather big. It's bigger than the actual card. Rounded the corners, And then I figured, okay, if I'm going to make it more like a sticky out thingy, I need to back it with a little bit of sturdy paper. Trying to figure out if the other card maybe is more, well, fitting. And I'm just going to glue on some food packaging. It's just a cardstock box from, I think it was from cereal or something. And that part is going to be glued on to the journal card. And of course, on the back side, I need to come up with something to cover it up, because otherwise you have the cardstock from the box. And I'm going to use the red paper on there again. So gluing on the red paper and using a combination of 2 glues to make sure it sticks. Cutting it to size. And it's going to be glued on the front side of the journal card. And on the back you will see a little bit of the red paper. Of course, rounding the corners again. And of course I need to ink. But inking is optional if you don't have ink. I think you can work with these papers very well without inking. And I'm gluing this on. I don't need to measure to make sure it fits perfectly. So I'm gluing it on over here. I'm going to glue it on. And I added too much glue. I didn't think of that, but I can fix that. Just trying to measure where it needs to be. It's going to be over here. And obviously there's too much glue. Which, well, I could have left, because I'm going to add cheesecloth over this in a minute, because it needs cheesecloth, of course. On the front side, I'm going to also add a label, and that's the label on the card. Just figuring out which one. Cut out several. And I'm also going to put 2 on the back side. So first going to put the 2 on the back side. And underneath the big label, I'm going to add cheesecloth. So I could have left the glue, like I said. I had some issues with the glue gun too, because it was not coming out. So I worked around it with a different type of glue, adding the cheesecloth, cutting it to size, and I fixed the glue gun. A lot of glue comes out. And I'm going to glue on the label, because the glue tip was gone, so that's why a lot of glue falls out now. So this is the back side of the card. Now I'm going to work on the front side of the card. I want to add a label on the front side too, and also a piece of cheesecloth. And I'm using the Christmas delivery label. And like I said, I really like all the little elements that are included. It's so much fun to embellish all those little pieces on everything. It's very detailed, so it's a rather long process, but yeah, I like that a lot. So this is the journal card. And now I need to figure out something to put in the pockets. I'm just trying to figure out which card is going to be on what spot. I'm just figuring out which card is going to be where. I'm going to create a journal card to put in this backside pocket. I'm going to add a strip of the red paper, of course around the corners, and I need to do some inking. And then I'm going to create a tab from a piece of the red paper, just a simple square one, or almost square one. And just gluing it down, of course. Need to glue the paper down a little bit better. And we're also going to add cheesecloth, and it's going to be on the back side of the tag or journal card. And I'm also going to add a strip of the red paper and cut it to size, and just cut off a little bit of the cheesecloth. And I have two strips. These are leftovers from the base of the cards. The cards are very sturdy, so those strips are very sturdy. And I want to place them on the tag as a dangle piece. And I'm going to add a eyelet. And I wanted to place the eyelet through those two pieces, but also through the tag, but that didn't work because it's very thick. So instead of doing that, I punch another hole with an eyelet, because over here you see it doesn't work. So I'm going to put another eyelet in, and then I'm going to use a brad to merge these together, so it's going to be a swivelly thing, which worked very well. I'm very pleased with the result. And obviously the swivel part is too long, so I have to cut it, as I'm doing over here. My plan was to round the corners on those strips, which it didn't work. I'm struggling to get it fixed. It's not working. As you can see, I try and I try. So at the end, I cut the bigger one straight, and the smaller one I cut into like a banner shape. So with the pointy things, I'm not sure how to explain in English. But like this, because I was not satisfied with the rounded corners, it looks stupid. So I'm just going to ink it, and this is going to be in the pocket. Now I printed out a sheet with tags. I'm also going to add an envelope over here to cover up half the word on the journal card, as you can see. And now I have, I have to close the pockets, of course. Doing that over here. And I need to close that pocket also. And I printed out a sheet, and there were 3 tags on it. Oh no, first I'm going to make a Christmas tag to put in the front little pocket. I backed it, cut it to size, inked it, put an eyelet in, and I'm going to put it into the pocket. Of course, I need to make it more accessible because it was, very tight with the glue. These are the 3 tags that I'm talking about. These came from one sheet, but I cut them to size to make them fit in the 3 pockets. And I cut out those little tab thingies. I have a green one and a red one, and I'm going to place that on one of the tags. Red on the front, green on the back. Of course, you have to line them up and make sure they squeeze together. And of course, I need to ink a little bit more. Then I have this piece. I needed to cut it straight because it was as wonky as can be. Rounded the corners with the 4 millimeter, I was speaking Dutch, corner punch, and I'm going to put that on the other tag. I'm going to punch a hole sort of in the middle of the circle element. Put in a eyelet. And I'm also going to cut out one of the pretty labels. And I'm going to put that onto the tags. I'm going to place that one over there. And then I have several other labels, and that I'm going to place. These are going to be placed on the tag that I have just created with the tabs. Because I have half the word of Christmas on it, which looks weird, so I have to cover that up. So I'm just going to glue it on like, well, a collage piece. And adding also that one. So now I have 2 more tags. And then I also have to work on the front, and I lost I lost that one, but this is the front one, and this is the other one that I have also on the glass moth is the back one, and I forgot. This one needed to be a little bit shorter, so I have to cut it off and round it the corners, because I really want that the tab is sticking out, well, next to the card. Also going to add eyelets into the tab. So this is the front piece, and this is the back journal card or tag, and I'm going to place 3 eyelets just to embellish it a little bit more. The tags are already beautiful, and you of course can add more images you could have put on, like the portrait that are in the kits that I like really a lot. I like them a lot, but I thought it's already a little bulky creation that I created, so let's just use the tags as flat as possible. I'm struggling with the eyelets, but I finally got them in. I needed to open this one a little so the tag would slide in easier. And I also thought behind well, on the red paper, I needed something extra. It was like a little empty. So I'm going to place this label over here to finish off the project. And I also wanted to put eyelets in the journal card that is slide into the belly band. I'm going to place 3, 2 on the top left and 1, well, not in the middle, downwards, but you can see what I'm doing. Trying to find the right eyelet and then just pop these in. I need to make the holes a little bit bigger because these eyelets are beautiful, but they never seem to fit. And especially when you layer up layers like a thick journal card or tag, it's not as easy to put them in, but I got them in. So this is almost the final result, because I want to add strings. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. Let me see. I think I will go for these. This is a little bit thinner, but still effective, because I really like this. Something like this. You could see it's going in here, maybe a little shorter. Like so. And then we have this one. So this can slide in here. I have to take this out. Sorry, I'm bumping the camera. But while I'm doing this, I want to thank everybody for watching, and yeah, thank you, Tracie Fox, for including me. I really enjoyed working with the papers. I love the colors, the red with the green. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Well, I'm still enjoying the papers. I'm not sure if I'm going to add something to this one. I don't think I am. No, I'm just going to leave it like this. And then I have these two. But yeah, make sure you follow the other people that are joining in this event too, because there's so much to see and so many talented people. So I think you will have a lot of fun videos to watch. And also, yeah, leave a like, subscribe to the channels. I think they will all appreciate that. Looks like a very complicated one, which is basically not the case. I'm just tying the knot like you tie a tie, a guy's tie. So this can be over here, and this one can be over here. And this can go in here. Although I don't like this. So I'm just going to cut it like so. I don't like the bow. So yeah, I also want to add a paper clip on here. I'm just having my tray over here. I think I will go for this one. Because that will go and hold the card into place. And it also adds to the project. Oh no, this is not fun because it's over the word. I don't want that. Maybe I'm going to stick it over here. Yeah, it's better. And do you want to put something else? Tiny paper clip. And I'm just going to add it. Well, maybe I'm going to add it on here. Just because I can. Because I like it. So this is my project. My card. There's a tag. This slides in. This is the back side. Has a pocket. Wiggly part, which I really like. Goes in here. Then it opens. Then you have a belly band over here. Of course, I have the paper clip. I'm not going to slide it out. You already saw, of course. A tag on here. A tag on here. Also a little bit with a wiggly part. And the final tag on here. I didn't do a lot of embellishment on the tags as they are pretty already. But you could do that, of course. Yeah, and this is my day 12. I hope you liked the video. Maybe you want to leave me a like, leave me a comment. If you're new to the channel, maybe you want to be a subscriber. And for those of you already been a subscriber, thank you so much for watching. And like I said, thank you Tracie Fox for inviting me. Go check out the other videos, the previous one and the one that are still coming. And yeah, this is it for today. Stay safe, stay creative, and I hope to see you in the next video. Greetings from the Netherlands. Bye bye. Bye.